Hello, Bucs fans. Adam Slivon here. With the Bucs season over, the focus now shifts to the offseason as draft coverage builds along with free agency and the 2025 NFL Draft in the not too distant future. While excitement is building with who may arrive in Tampa Bay next, the team's 2024 draft class should provide plenty as it was one of the NFL's best. Graham Barton, Tykee Smith, Jalen McMillan, and Bucky Irving each look like plus starters, while Chris Braswell, Elijah Klein, and Devin Culp have shown flashes and could work their way into the equation. You may have seen my article for pewterreport.com, but here is my breakdown of why the Bucs extracted surplus value from the 2024 NFL Draft. Let's start with the man who led the way. First round pick Graham Barton. As expected, Barton went through his share of ups and downs, starting 16 games. He flashed potential every week, and there is reason to be optimistic that he can be among the top centers in the league if he can build on his first year. Alongside Zach Frazier and Jackson Powers-Johnson, he was one of the top interior offensive linemen in his class and did enough to showcase why he was worth being selected in the first round. After the success he and the offensive line had this season, Barton is a big part of why the Bucs offensive line is one of the best in the business and should only get better. After Graham Barton, the Bucs made two nice moves on day 2, drafting Tykee Smith and Jalen McMillan. Smith is a kind of playmaker Tampa Bay's secondary desperately needed, as he forced 3 fumbles and recorded 2 interceptions across 13 games. Smith has already shown enough to think he can develop into one of the better nickelbacks in the league. He graded out 7th among all rookie corners and 25th among the 117 Pro Football Focus graded. Looking only at nickelbacks, the only rookies who fared better playing primarily in the slot were Andrew Phillips of the Giants and Cooper DeJean of the Eagles. Smith was not far behind them and provided surplus value relative to being selected 89th overall. On to J-Mac. Jaylen McMillan started off the year slow, but by the end, he was one of the better wide receivers from his draft class. Of course, he had Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., and Ladd McConkey. No doubt, they were the best of the bunch, but McMillan compared favorably to the other 10 wide receivers drafted ahead of him. Yes, that's right. McMillan was the 15th wideout off the board, but has a strong case for being in the top half, especially after his historic run to end the year. With 7 touchdowns in just 5 games, he built quite the rapport with Baker Mayfield and the end zone. Like Smith, McMillan provided abundant value, and one could argue he would be a top 50 pick in hindsight. So, you have Graham Barton, Tykee Smith, and Jalen McMillan, who have shown every indication of being great picks by Jason Licht. But on day 3 of the 2024 NFL Draft, Licht pulled off a heist, selecting Bucky Irving with the 125th overall pick. Not only did he secure valuable loot, but he got away with it in true pirate plundering fashion. Irving was nothing short of sensational during his rookie year and one of the best non-quarterback offensive rookies in the NFL. There is no denying he was one of the best running backs either. Tampa Bay has secured its back of the future, and he was a big reason why the run game finally got off the ground. They truly started from the bottom, but now they're here, in part due to Irving being the offensive spark plug, leading the way with 207 carries, 1,122 yards, and 8 touchdowns, not to mention his role as a receiver out of the backfield. The teams that picked Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Marshawn Lloyd, and Jalen Wright probably wish they would have taken the former Oregon Duck instead, and he would have gone much higher. Now on to the final 3 Bucs draft picks not discussed yet: Chris Braswell, Elijah Klein, and Devin Colt. Each of them could still factor into the team's plans in the coming years as they continue to develop. Starting with Braswell, he finished with just 18 tackles, 8 quarterback hits, and 1.5 sacks as a backup. He has to put it all together to stake his claim in an outside linebacker room, that will be overhauled, but there is still hope that he can be the physical force the team hoped they drafted when they selected him out of Alabama. Klein was the team's 6th round pick and was not expected to play. This allowed him to spend a year developing, which should benefit the UTEP product going forward. There may not have been a spot for him before, but with Ben Bredesen, Justin School, and Robert Hainsey each a free agent this offseason, he may carve out a role as soon as next year. Last but not least, you have 7th round pick Devin Culp. He was inactive most of the year before finishing on a high note. He made his first catch in week 17 when he had 3 receptions for 52 yards. He followed that up with a 2-catch, 36-yard performance in the regular season finale. With a full offseason to continue making strides, he could see the field more and provide Baker Mayfield with another lethal target. What do you think, Bucs fans? Do you think Tampa Bay got away with an absolute haul in the 2024 NFL Draft, or what? If you were to redraft guys like Tykee Smith, Jalen McMillan, and Bucky Irving, where do you think they would go? It speaks to the impressive work of the front office that they were able to identify this much talent. No wonder guys like John Spytek and Mike Greenberg are getting interviews. But that will do it for me in this one. Be sure to check out pewterreport.com for more of what I had to say, and also for all of our off-season content. Stay tuned in to Pewter Report TV as we have plenty of videos coming your way soon. You can also find us on social media on our X, Instagram, and Facebook accounts. To see more of my analysis and for my top 10 takeaways series, you can also find me on X at Adam Lives On. That's ADAMLIVSON. See you soon for another video.